Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. So today we'll be making this front twist turban headband, and if that is something you're interested in learning or knowing how to make, do keep on watching. So I will have all the list of items used for this project listed in the description box, as well as the measurement for each item would be in the description box, so do check that out. So let's get started. First off, I'll be cutting two pieces of fabric that are 18 inches long and 7 inches wide. Then I'll be folding each piece in half along the length, ensuring that the right sides are facing. Then run a straight stitch from one end to the other end, just to hold down those edges and just to hold that in place. So I'm just going to turn this fabric or these pieces right sides out. So when I turn right sides out, as you can see, I have the stitch or that seam placed in the middle and not on either side of the fabric. So once that is done, I'm going to cut out another fabric that is 14 inches long and 3 inches wide. So this would serve as the casing for the elastic band later on. So instead of running a straight stitch from end to end, I'll be leaving one each opening on either side, and I'll be showing you guys why later on. So at this point, I have that fabric stitched already, and I went ahead to cut my elastic band, which is 7 inches long. So I'm just going to pass that elastic band through this fabric that we just had stitched. So I have passed the elastic band through the fabric, and I have it pinned on either side just to ensure that it is held down and held in place. Okay, so as you can see, even after passing the elastic band, I ensure that that stitch is at the middle and not on either side. Next, I'll be taking one of those two pieces that we had stitched earlier, and I'm just going to fold it in half like you see me doing. And when folding in half, you want to ensure that that seam or that stitch or that part that has the stitch is on the inner part of the fold and not on the outer part of the fold. Okay, then I'm just going to fold in those free edges towards the middle. I'm just going to bring those edges in like you see me doing, but I'm just going to do it again just in case you just didn't get that the first time. I'm just going to fold it in a triangular form, yeah, just to hold it down or to make it smaller, to create like a pleat effect on that side. So that's going to be the wrong side of this headband. So next, I'll be taking the fabric that has the elastic band in it, and I'm holding down that elastic band because I've taken out the pin from that side. So using the 1 inch opening that we had left earlier, I'm just going to wrap around that headband and run a straight stitch. So after you stitch that part down, you should have it looking like this, and I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. But first, I will be passing the other fabric through the center point of this very fabric to create a loop, or through the loop of this very first fabric, and it should look something like this. Then I'll be folding in those frayed edges or those cut edges basically the same way I did for the first one. I'm just going to fold it towards the middle on one side and do the same thing on the other side. So when folding in these edges, you want to ensure that both bands or both parts are folded in the same direction. You don't want to have one folded towards the front and the other folded towards the back. That would look really, really bad, right? Then I'm going to take the other part of the fabric with the elastic band, and I'm going to place it on the right side of the headband, ensuring to hold that elastic band in place. You want to ensure to hold that elastic band in place so it doesn't move or slip away from your fingers. Okay, so I'm just going to place that right sides out. So using that 1 inch opening again, I'm going to fold towards the wrong side of the headband like you see me doing. So when I am folding or when folding, I'm not actually folding the whole fabric or lying the fabric completely flat. I try to ensure that the ends of each fold is going in the opposite direction like you see me doing. This is to ensure that when I sew or when I'm trying to close in those openings or those open ends later on, it's actually very, very easy for me. So I'm just going to run a straight stitch through that part, and this is what it looks like. We have an opening here and an opening on the other side as well. So lastly, we'll be closing those open edges or those openings. So to do this, I'll be using my hand needle for this. So I'm just going to put the needle into the wrong part of the fabric and just pull out the thread. This is to ensure that the knot of the thread is hidden right inside the fabric and not on the right side of this fabric, just so you don't get any rough edges. So what I'm doing right now is just to fold in those free edges, then pinching the two parts with my fingers. I'm pinching the two parts together with my fingers, and I'm just stitching those ends closed. So I'm not using a straight running stitch. I'm actually going over the top and up around. I'm going over the top, then I pull the thread. So this would help me overlock those ends properly and to ensure that there are no openings later on. So I decided to use a black thread for this part just because this part had like a lot of black going on. So the purpose of using that 1 inch opening to wrap around the headband part is to ensure that no ends are showing and all the rough edges are hidden and embedded inside the fabric, just to get a clean finishing. Now to tie the knot after stitching, I'll be passing the needle through one of those triangular folds that we had at the end of the band, and I'm not actually passing it all the way to the front. I'm just passing it through one of those folds gently, then tie the knot in at the wrong side in between that fold and the front part, just to secure that knot and to ensure that nobody else can see that knot, and cut off the excess thread. And that's pretty much it, guys. It's really easy, really simple. You can do this in 5 minutes. That's how easy it is. Okay. So, yeah, this is the finished look, the finished product, rather. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Leave a comment so I can know your thoughts, guys. It helps me know that you guys are liking my content and just helps me know what you guys are thinking. Then give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, so bye, guys.